Morning. Good morning. Welcome to Touching the Edge. My name is Drake, and this is the 40-day invitation to genius. And as usual, I'm very, very happy to be here because I know that every day of 40 days, each day is pretty significant. 40 days seems like a long time, but it's a very short time. And each day is significant. Just like every year is significant, every day is significant. In many ways, the 40-day practice is sort of a reduction. It's sort of a condensing of our intention in life. One of my belief structures that I adhere to is that anything that happens during the 40 days is meant to happen during the 40 days. And in many ways, every day of the invitation to genius, which of course is more concentrated during the 40-day invitation to genius, is really about our invitation every day of our life. So every day is a discernment. Every day is an opportunity to go either right or left. Every day is an opportunity to either become more yourself or less yourself. And so I'm asking you to consider becoming more yourself. And so today is our Books on Thursday. And so I wanted to share with you some books. And I just want to ask you to remember the three pillars. The three pillars of practice are study, communication, the Sangha, the spiritual community. It doesn't have to be spiritual, but just be in contact with others. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. And finally, practice, making sure that we do practice. Practice makes perfect. Actually, practice reveals perfection if we do it in the right way. And all three of them end up working together. The study ends up connecting with practice. Practice connects with people if we do it in a way that is most effective. And so today I want to show you four books that I think are very, very important. So the first one I'm going to show you is called The Master Speaks. The Master Speaks. The great teacher Joel Goldsmith. It's a book on Christian mysticism. Joel Goldsmith was a Jewish Christian mystic and one of the truly, truly great teachers. He had what he called the Infinite Way, which is really about living spiritual life directly connected to spirituality rather than through the artifice of structure that we call religion. Another book that I want to show you, Marcus Aurelius. The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. Truly, truly amazing. One of the seminal Stoics, the three great Stoics usually considered to be Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca. And I love all three of them. Marcus Aurelius is my favorite. That book is again, this was the book that the Meditations were actually his journals to himself. And by the way, I always think he looks like my friend Sean. So those are his writings to himself. They weren't meant for other people. He was the emperor of Rome, and it really shows what an enlightened leader can be. And I think we all need to be working to become enlightened leaders. I want to show you books that are not always about practice, but all books to me are about practice. Even if I'm reading something for enjoyment, I'm learning from it. But this book is really just a detective novel. It's in the vein of like Sherlock Holmes. I think it's a very enjoyable book. Some danger involved. Sometimes it's important to get something that's not always the most serious thing. My reading practice, I always have 5 books going. 3 are almost always nonfiction. At least 2 of them are usually on meditation or stress reduction practice. Sometimes the third one is around history or things of that nature. I usually have 2 novels going. One is a classic novel and usually 1 fantasy novel. So Some Danger Involved. It's a really enjoyable detective novel set in the 19th century. So the final one I want to show you today, and this is really one of my foundational texts, is the Dhammapada, particularly this translation, Ekanath Eswaran. So it's the sayings of the Buddha. And the chapters are always very, very short. The analysis is really quite good, but the chapters themselves are usually just a couple pages. And one of the things I really like about that is, about this particular book is sometimes it's nice to get like bite-sized morsels, like tapas morsels. And this particular book, I just want to read the first page I opened to. As an archer aims an arrow, the wise aim their restless thoughts. Hard to aim, hard to restrain. So this is a great, great book. So I just want to encourage you to study. And again, study doesn't not have to be through reading; it can be through videos on YouTube, videos like this. So anyway, consider getting your study practice going. Build your 40-day practice, your 40-day invitation to genius. And every time you read one of these books, or even just a single phrase, it's adding heat and creating that chemical reaction that ends up becoming us being connected to ourselves. I'm going to ring the bell. I'm going to ask you to listen carefully. Here we go. You know, there's so many elements that are challenging during this time. But one of the beautiful elements is you have access to information in a way that people have never had before. People literally have died for texts that we can access in just a moment. So this time is calling upon you to activate study. I'm going to bring my hands into prayer position and bow to you, my friend. And thank you, because I know you make a difference. Namaste.